Hello everyone, JBH Gaming here, and I wanted to bring up a topic to everybody today. I got thinking about, the remasters coming out and how close our release date is. I mean, we only have a couple months left, and I started getting excited because I started thinking, well, what's next? We have the remasters. What's the next, new Crash coming out? I just wanted to bring you up some game ideas that I feel like are going to happen, and maybe a couple spin-offs or something like that. But I feel like we're not going to get anything like Mind Over Mutant and Crash of the Titans. I understand people like them, but that was a very, it was most of the community was like, what is this design? What is this character? Why is Tiny a very high-pitched Mike Tyson? Stuff like that. So I don't feel like we're going to get any gameplay-wise like Mind Over Mutant is, like more combat-focused. I feel like Crash is going to be a platformer and it's going to stay a platformer. So the first game that I feel like we are going to be, getting after the remasters is kind of a very safe new game. And what I mean by that is, Vicarious Vision seems like they're kind of slowly bringing Crash back in, remastering these games. Everybody loves them. The formula is very familiar. They're playing it very safe with these remasters. So I feel like what's going to happen is the next game we're going to get is the Warp Room style of Crash Bandicoots. I'd like to say I'd like to see one more in Crash 2 style, how every Warp Room kind of felt like an individual. It had its own flavor, how warped. It was just like, okay, well, this one's a medieval setup, and then there's all kind of levels in between them. But I personally, I feel like that's going to be the first, new game that we get. Vicarious Visions are wanting to take very good care of this, so I feel like, they're going to let the fans in with a game they know familiarly, and then kind of change it up on us a little bit, add some new environments, maybe add a new bad guy, new boss, something like that. But it's going to still stay the same gameplay-wise and, style-wise. That way, the community is like, see, they can do it, the Naughty Dog style. They've already done, their games, and then they're making their own, and they've done it that style. They know how to do it. And then we'll start seeing the evolution of Crash and what he can do. So the second thing I feel like is going to happen, I hope it happens, because I feel like Vicarious Visions is going to be losing on a good chunk of money if they don't do this, is CTR. All they have to do is remake that game with better graphics, maybe add some new levels to it and add online play, and bam, they have an automatic success. Out of the original 5 games, and I say that for the PlayStation era, we have the original Cortex Strikes Back, Warped, CTR, and then we have Crash Bash. You talk about the community and you look at their likes, the big 2 games that the community agrees all their best games ever in the PlayStation era is normally Warped and Crash Team Racing. I mean, you have people sitting there saying, it can't contend, it's better than Mario Kart, stuff like that. So, Warped in this game are held high. And, adding that online play, back in the PlayStation era, not everybody was able to get a hold of those adapters where you could plug 4 controllers in. So, I mean, now, you just hop online, you call a few of your buddies over, and then let's race, So, I feel like that'll definitely be our first spin-off game. When we get further down the line, if any of you have played, Twin Sanity, you know that Crash has been kind of trying to do the open world aspect of a platformer, but it hasn't really fully got there yet. I feel like that will be something that we will eventually see, is definitely an open world Crash Bandicoot platformer, kind of like in the vein of Banjo-Kazooie and Yooka-Laylee. But when you do stuff like that, you need to have plenty of content to fill the game, because one of the things that I'm seeing personally, especially with Yooka-Laylee, is the graphics. Everything looks really beautiful, and there's a lot to do, but especially later on in the game, the world just gets too big for a platformer. It feels more like a task getting through the level than, having fun in the level itself. So that was, further on the line. I feel like we'll see that. Something personally from deep in my heart that I would like to see, and this is kind of just a fan service type thing, is Crash Twin Sanity. I would absolutely love to see a remaster of that game with all the cut content in it. And I'd say we'd have a potential for the best Crash Bandicoot game in the world, in my opinion. But that is my personal thoughts. I feel like there's not really much we can do, platform-wise. It'll either be a linear platformer, it'll be open world, we'll have some kart racer, some spin-offs. I think I don't want to make people mad, but Crash Bash is fun, but I really didn't think it was kind of a good transition into a party game. And we don't talk about Boom Bang. That game that's non-existent. That game does not exist. But I feel like if Vicarious Visions, if they can, get some good ideas rolling, some good party games, I think we might even see like a Crash party game. And hopefully it can be, done right, have a good adventure mode. The lore actually makes sense, unlike Crash Bash. So, there's a lot of potential this series could have. I think they'll stay with the platformer genre. I don't think they'll move into anything like Crash of the Titans or anything like that. But those are my opinions, guys. If you like the video, click like and leave a comment down below talking about your ideas. Remember, stay honest.